Now, our next guest is a seasoned trainer of interpreters. She'll discuss intergenerational learning challenges, highlighting common obstacles such as reluctance to learn IT. Her presentation emphasizes the importance of embracing learning opportunities across ages and backgrounds. Welcome, Helena El Masri.
Thank you very much for inviting me again to speak at the LC conference. Before I go into the challenges, I really would like to start by sharing a personal experience. My mother is 91 years old, and just before COVID, she started to attend the meetings of her religion on the phone with a dedicated telephone line for this purpose. Her knees were giving up and she was more comfortable listening to the meeting at home, especially in the evenings. So what did I do? I bought her an iPad. My daughter downloaded the website of her religion, downloaded FaceTime and Zoom, and then explained her 3 times. This is the website to watch videos and listen to podcasts. The green button is to call us. See, here are our pictures. You just have to press next to the picture. Then the blue button is Zoom for your meetings. We got the code for the meeting and for that month, and we asked her to do it. 3 explanations. She was 88 at the time, I suppose, or 89, I don't even remember, but 3 explanations was all it took for her to understand how the iPad worked to her advantage. So it goes without saying that this tablet was a lifesaver during COVID because she never felt isolated. So why am I sharing this? Because there is no age limit to learn something. But the person needs to want to learn. So there we go onto the challenges and why they happen, especially from my point of view to interpreters who decide to join a training course. So my observations are mainly from the level 3 in community interpreting course, because this is a group of 12 learners of different languages, different ages and cultures. So this group is made of different languages and ages, which is very beneficial to all. But at times, certain cultures have a difficulty with some things, like, for example, learning from a woman, or accepting that a younger learner of their language can do it better than them. So the issues stem not only from the age gaps, but also from cultural background and social status. So I would say that our groups are like a Tower of Babel, that when it works is very rewarding for everyone. But here and there are a few recurring issues, and I will only mention 3 challenges: reluctance to learn IT-related subjects, denial of their own weaknesses, and arriving with unrealistic expectations. So for someone who has not been in education for many years, of course, and they only use the phone to see Instagram or Facebook or to call people, it becomes a real shock when they come to the course and they have to use an e-learning platform to read lessons and submit their coursework, as well as use Zoom for classes and Skype for assessments with their language assessors. Oh la la, here they are thinking that they've mastered the technology they needed, which is Facebook, and then they're back to zero, learning more technology. Yes, it can be tough for some. For some learners, even the login is problematic. They forget their passwords and they don't know how to get a new one. Others have difficulties following the lessons. Yes, because they don't fully read the lessons. They just skim read them. This is a trend now because we scroll down on social media all the time, so it's no surprise. But because of that, they miss on important information that is there to guide them on how to submit the coursework, for example, or what's due this week. So this can be confusing for some, and as a result of their inability to follow the curriculum or certain instructions, they then blame the platform as not user-friendly. So this goes on to the point 2, which is the denial of weaknesses. Why would I blame myself for not knowing something when I can blame someone else, right? So, however, we do not let them slide and avoid the problem. We insist that they learn how to do it. Sometimes learners are asked to resubmit coursework 5 times until they actually read all the instructions and get it, and then they can follow them easily. We're not mean. We are training learners to not give up on their own capabilities. They are able, like my mother at 91. Sometimes they just need to be held by the hand, supported in an informal setting, the course, so that later, when they get their certificate, they can fix problems on their own. We teach them to be critical thinkers, original thinkers, so that they can find solutions and not simply give up. Everyone has their own weaknesses, and we should all embrace them and keep working on improving those skills so that we have less and less weaknesses as we progress in our careers as professional interpreters. And the last challenge that we see sometimes is that learners come with unrealistic expectations of their abilities and of their knowledge. Again, this happens at any age, gender, race, culture, and language. They may have been interpreters for a while before coming to get the qualification, and they think they know it all. After all, they may have a master's in engineering or a degree in philology, and this level 3 course, they think it's going to be easy peasy. Well, being proficient and an expert in engineering does not mean necessarily that they will be automatically proficient and expert at interpreting, consecutive interpreting, I would say. As my colleague Phil Muriel often says, having 10 fingers does not make you a pianist. So having this expectation that they can get it right in all aspects of the qualification sometimes reveals inadequacies. They didn't even know they had it, let alone facing those inadequacies. Now, the good news is that we have trained over 2,000 interpreters at the PSI Online, so we are very experienced trainers, and we are able to support and guide learners in many of these issues. And when they cannot, the tutors cannot do it, well, the admin team will give them a hand. As for the learners, well, no matter their age, culture, or expectation, being supported in an informal, controlled, and safe environment is really fundamental to empower them to become self-reliant professionals. And this does not mean we win every time, because some learners nowadays especially will try to hide their weaknesses by using the very latest technology. Yes, you probably guessed, AI. Now they can ask questions and get AI to generate answers in 5 seconds. Why would they spend so much time researching and reading? Well, for them, it's the wrong approach again. Their attempts at cheating only mean that they are cheating themselves, and this will only delay their qualification, because in these cases, they have to answer questions verbally and demonstrate knowledge in front of another tutor who they are not familiar with. So, or worse, if they plagiarize their coursework twice, they will not be awarded a certificate and will not be qualified. Obviously, these are exceptions, of course, but normally by the end of the course, most learners realized how little they knew before starting the course. They feel confident in their individual issues, as they know they will eventually get it right. They will never be perfect, but they have learned to be the best they can be. And that this profession is a long life quest for knowledge and a continuous refining of our skills. So to finalize my talk, I would like to say that failing at something is extremely important, because only when we fail, or when we do not know something, then we can learn. There is no progress in learning unless we acknowledge the weaknesses. And I would like to invite all of us to be open to learn from each other. The elderly may have traditional knowledge we need to interpret for older people in the community, for example. And the young, well, they have a lot of more technology expertise that can help and motivate the elderly to learn about it. So intergenerational learning does not have to be problematic. No matter how old we are, we just have to be curious and humble. Curious to constantly learn, and humble to realize we know very little of a lot of things. So be curious, at least until you're 95. Thank you for listening.
Helena, I love that message. Be curious until you're 95. Why not till
Yes.
100 and something, you know?
Wow. Let's
Exactly.
do it. Yes.
No, that's a fantastic message. You know, it's a human condition to think we know it all, but when we do a little bit of introspection, then we can face the challenges that we have, or, you know, and also the other message I want to take from, which I take from this, is failing is okay. It's the
Yes.
stepping stone to success. So it's a
Yes.
fantastic message. Yeah.
Good.
Thank you so much, Helena El Masri.